Hey guys, it's the History Nerd, and we're here with episode 0 of the next Stellaris campaign. I've decided to put an end to the first campaign, mainly because the latest patch, 1.2, changes quite a bit of the game, to the point where it's theoretically possible to continue a save game from like 1.0, but it's not gonna work well. So, why episode 0, History Nerd? Good question. The reason is because I want to know what you guys want to see. So as you can see, I've gone ahead and created some custom human races. Yes, I know, humanity boring, but it's the way I play sci-fi games. So, such is life. Starting off, let's take a look at the United Nations of Earth. With conflict on the rise throughout the 21st century, the United Nations became more involved in the interpolitical conflicts of the nations of Earth. When a theoretical breakthrough made the development of wormhole travel possible, Project Ulysses was born. The UN reached out to all of the nations of the world, and 6 colony ships were relatively quickly assembled. Launched into the unknown, humanity was left wondering what had happened and how these ships and their colonies would develop. Now, with the Galactic Hyperlane Network understood, the UN looks to the stars to spread humanity and discover what happened to the 6 ships sent a century ago. So that's your basic, the humans. Now let's go to the nation that was built in Stellaris that inspired the rest of what I did. Descendants of one of the Project Ulysses colony ships, the Commonwealth of Man faced tough challenges, taming and settling their new home planet of Unity. A rugged landscape and deadly animals made for a difficult life, and to ensure order and survival, the colonial military quickly took control. Over the last century, the military took over most social aspects of society. Now the Commonwealth of Man looked to the stars, intent on taming the galaxy, as they did Unity. So, basically, Commonwealth of Man, written up a bit of a backstory for them. I've done that for everybody here. The backstory's quickly written, and needless to say, the little text box that Paradox has provided is lovely, but it's certainly not a word processor. So, yeah. Anyway, these guys are just your basic bog standard Commonwealth of Man approach, the xenophobe fanatic militarists who are off to do xenophobe fanatic militarist things. Should look at the United Nations of Earth, who are xenophile, fanatic individualists, and indirect democracy, using the quick learners and nomadic. It's your bog standard UN start for the humans, and the same with the Commonwealth of Man as well. Now, you can see here that these guys are called Unitarians because they come from Unity, not because of any religious belief of this society in general. I have given each human race their own unique name because the game doesn't understand that, like, these would be 6 different groups of humans, so you might as well just keep them separate. Am I right? Yes, I am. Let's move on to the Republic of Colombia. Xenophile fanatic militarist Military Republic. One of the 6 wormhole ships sent from Earth contained settlers backed by the wealthy elite of the Americas. Like the Commonwealth of Man, the initial settlements developed a strong militia to ensure their survival on an alien world. Unlike the Commonwealth of Man, however, the Republic of Colombia held on to the belief that each individual, no matter their background, would be considered an equal in society. The Republic of Colombia enters the space age, ready to conquer any foe and liberate any oppressed people. Think of these guys as democratic crusaders. So they're a militarist society, yes. Kind of like Starship Troopers, I guess, in the way military republics work. That's where that idea came from. Anyway, unlike Starship Troopers, of course, this military republic is all about helping out aliens. If aliens are repressed, they get unoppressed. If aliens are living in a non-democratic society, i.e. a republic, they will be strongly encouraged to live in a democratic society. So these guys are democratic crusaders, is the kind of plan that I have for them. Then we've got the Vatican. When news of the wormhole ships reached the Vatican, the church decided to fund and crew one of the ships. Catholics the world over entered a lottery for positions aboard the St. Peter, and the ship was quickly filled. Upon arrival at Novus Vaticanum, the church dominated every facet of life. Pope Spatium, the head of the church, became a living god, and at the dawn of the 23rd century, the Vatican looks to share the truth and wisdom of Pope Spatium amongst the stars. So these guys are fanatic spiritualist pacifists, so they're not going to be all that keen on war, but, you know, it is going to be an option for them. Mainly, they're rocking the divine mandate, so they got a little bit of a North Korea vibe going on with their leader. Other than that, that's basically the Vatican. So one thing I do like is Pope Spatium, and I'm not sure if that should be capitalized, but basically that's just Space Pope. So there we go. I was toying with the idea of making him a crocodile, but that doesn't really fit, and I don't know how many people would get that Futurama reference. So, well, I mean, now everybody would, because they know it comes from Futurama. Moving on to the Galactic Commune. The colonists on Utopia had, to be blunt, a rough time. A week after the first prefab shelters were put up, the captain and first officer were crushed in a landslide, leaving the colony in very inexperienced hands. Unlike other colonies, this inexperience led to a disastrous revolt 5 years after landing. Many of the colonists employed in mining, sick of being worked almost to death, rose up and killed the high command and others. So basically they just wiped the ruling elite out. Inspired by Marx, these workers set about developing their paradise. As the 23rd century dawns, the Galactic Commune looks to liberate the workers on all worlds and bring peace and equality to the galaxy. These guys are fanatic collectivist militarists, and obviously they're the space commies. Why not? We've also got Stellar Britain. With their exit from the EU, Britain faced a tough time. Leaning on their Commonwealth ties, Britain looked to create a 21st century economic empire built on the foundations of their old 19th century empire. It paid off, especially in India, and when it was time to send out the colony ships, the Commonwealth developed, built, and crewed the Elizabeth. Quite quickly, a very stratified society developed based on class, and as the elites wined and dined in their country estates, the workers toiled in the mines and factories. Keenly aware of the success of the old empire, Stellar Britain looks to the stars, ready to dominate the galaxy for wealth and profit. Basically, I wanted to get a Space Britain faction in because there was a name list for Britain. So these guys are a plutocratic oligarchy, collectivist, militarist, materialist. They're there just to, basically go about and do all of the imperial things that bring money to them. So that's their plan, is to spread out amongst the galaxy and basically just, good old-fashioned empire building with, slavery tolerance, but there's probably not going to be any slaving. Militarists, not necessarily always going to be at war, and materialists, just to get, all the outputs coming through. So that's Stellar Britain, and finally, we've got the Quaker Cooperative. The Kellogg was a normal Ulysses colony ship with a less than traditional captain. She viewed this colonial endeavor as a fresh start and set about teaching the ideals of peace, love, and prosperity. A century on, the Quakers looked to the stars as a chance to show the galaxy that hate, violence, and abuse of power is as outdated a concept as the steam engine. You would think, having written this, that I would be able to read it. Apparently not. So these guys are really fanatic pacifist spiritualist. They've got a theocratic republic going, so they're still democratic, but they've got a religious connection, with that religion being certainly not as in your face as, say, the Vatican, but it's still a factor in everyday life. So those are the 6 factions, including, well, 7, I guess, including the United Nations of Earth. 5, well, what do we got? The Republic of Colombia, Vatican, Galactic Commune, and Stellar Britain all have custom name lists. The Quaker Cooperative I just wrote up. Now I haven't given too much thought into it, but when I was taking a look at this, I was like, wait a second. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're short a colony ship. So, in come the Quakers, because I think that, we'll just add. Everybody seems to be a little conquest heavy, except for maybe the Vatican. So it's good to get some fanatic pacifists in there as well. All of these guys are locked in, so based upon what you guys want to see, we'll have all the other groups. Plus, I'm thinking 12 other alien races. So I'm thinking a galaxy of, oh god, what would it be, 19? Maybe we'll push that to 18. So technically 17 plus the Galactic Empire that I choose. And we'll go out and see the world. I will lock it to hyperspace travel, the entire galaxy, because you get kind of a geography when you've got the hyperspace lanes that you don't really necessarily get with other travel types. Yes, I know, wormholes are best, but I'm going with hyperspace travel for everyone because, hey, it's my series and I can do that. So that's the plan. In the comments below, let me know who you guys think we should be. And, I mean, obviously, I've got the few choices in my head that I would like, and of course, I will be keeping my vote in the back of my mind with the selection, but if there is a clear majority, of course, we will go with that. And I'm not sure when. We'll be starting that up in the next couple of days, but we'll give the vote a quick chance to get done. And on that note, I think that's it. So let me know who you guys want to see. I hope you guys are excited for a new Stellaris campaign. One of the nice things about setting it up this way is that there's far more chance of having sort of a more structured role play. Obviously, you know, I mean, we're going to have, these are, what, a third of the races in the galaxy, so there will be other races that show up and get generated and all that other stuff, but at least this way, there's always, like, you know, if you're the UN, for instance, you could be like, you know what, we're going to form a federation with all of the colonies. If you're the Commonwealth of Man, you're probably looking at it and saying, we're the best bet. For humanity's survival, we should be running the show in a giant galactic human empire. The Republic of Colombia would be like, hey, we should probably get alliances with these guys as long as they're democratic. And if they're not democratic, the first thing we should do is go in and liberate these humans and then make them democratic. So there's a lot of, there's a lot more driving oomph behind at least the initial stages. Well, that goes. What a horrible sentence. I'm sorry. But no, there's a push for each race to go out and start interacting with, at the very least, the other human races, depending on the nation, of course. I do have a few mods installed. The major ones, I mean, other than the custom name lists and some of the custom race icons, we've also got non-clustered starts, which is really good. So with us going for a 1,000-star galaxy and 18 total empires, there's plenty of space to have anomalies and to grow and to meet up with fallen empires and pre-space nations or races and all that other stuff. So that's nice. I've got the Beautiful Battles mod installed as well. I'm not sure what that does compared to the changes in 1.2, but it has been updated to work with 1.2, so I'm sticking with it. And what else? There might be another mod in there. I think those are the only two. Oh no, and the civilian trade mod as well. So when it comes to mods, there's the civilian trade. I just went over this list. Really? Non-clustered starts in the Beautiful Battles mod. So those are the three main mods I've got, plus some name lists and stuff like that. Other than the Quakers and the Commonwealth of Man and the United Nations, everyone's got a custom name list. And I think that's it. So yeah, let me know what you guys want to see, and we'll get this new galactic campaign started on the right foot. So on that note, let me know who you want to see, and we will see you guys with episode 1 in a little while. See y'all later.